Welcome back to our channel US Coins World. Today, we're diving into the world of rare state quarter-dollar coins. Some of these could be worth a small fortune. If you've got quarters lying around, you won't want to miss this. Let's find out if you're sitting on hidden treasure. So let's continue our today's video on Top 1. Today we're diving into a coin that many people have seen, but very few truly understand, the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter. It might look like just another piece of pocket change, but don't let appearances fool you. Some versions of this coin are worth way more than 25 cents, and if you're lucky, yours could be one of the rarest of them all. Now, why should coin collectors and everyday people care about this particular quarter? Well, here's the thing, the New Jersey Quarter was one of the first released in the U.S. 50-state quarters program, which started in 1999. Each coin celebrated a different state's history, and New Jersey's design honored a legendary moment from the American Revolution, Washington crossing the Delaware River. It's a powerful image of courage, strategy, and unity that represents not just New Jersey, but a defining point in our country's history. But here's where things get really interesting for collectors. While millions of New Jersey quarters were minted and released into circulation, not all of them were created equal. Some of these coins have minting errors that are so rare, they've turned into hot items in the coin collecting world. One of the most well-known and sought-after errors in the 1999 New Jersey Quarter involves what's known as a double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with a misaligned die, causing parts of the design, like the letters, numbers, or even parts of Washington's boat and the soldiers, to appear doubled. These tiny details can be easy to miss unless you're looking closely, but to a trained eye, they are worth serious money. Another error that's caught the attention of collectors is a misaligned die strike, where the image or part of the text is not properly centered. In some cases, this results in the rim looking unusually thick on one side and almost invisible on the other. These kinds of errors are rare because the U.S. Mint has strict quality control, but sometimes, these mistakes still make it out into circulation. Now here's something else to keep in mind: condition is everything. If your 1999 New Jersey Quarter has any of these rare errors and it's in uncirculated or mint condition, then you're talking about a whole different level of value. Coins that have been well preserved, no scratches, no discoloration, no signs of wear, can skyrocket in worth, especially when combined with a unique error. Collectors love coins like this because they're not just currency, they're pieces of history with their own stories to tell. A quarter from 1999 might seem recent, but in the world of numismatics, that's long enough for rare variants to become increasingly hard to find. And as more collectors become aware of these rare New Jersey quarters, the demand, and the price, just keeps going up. Now I know you've been waiting for the big number. So, how much can one of these rare 1999 New Jersey quarters actually be worth? Well, if you have a coin with a confirmed double die error, in pristine uncirculated condition, it could be worth as much as $79,000, yes, you heard that right, $79,000 for a single state quarter. So go ahead, check your coin jar, dig through your old pocket change, or take a closer look at that quarter sitting in your drawer. You never know, you just might be holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it. Top 2. We're traveling deep into the heart of America, Texas, to uncover the secrets behind one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins in the entire state quarter series, the 2004 Texas State Quarter. You might have seen this coin dozens of times, but what you're about to learn will change the way you look at it forever. Now, Texas isn't just famous for its size, its pride, or its rich history, it also produced one of the most collectible and mysterious coins of the early 2000s. Released as part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, the 2004 Texas Quarter celebrates the Lone Star State's entry into the Union in 1845. Its design is bold, striking, and unmistakably Texan. You've got the famous Lone Star, the outline of the state, and a rope motif encircling the image that screams independence and strength. But what makes this coin more than just a tribute to Texas pride? Let's talk rarity, and more importantly, value. Millions of these quarters were produced, but not all are created equal. Some 2004 Texas quarters left the U.S. Mint with serious errors, and it's those rare mistakes that are catching the eyes of collectors around the world. These are the coins you'll want to look for, because they could be worth a small fortune. One of the most exciting errors found on some Texas quarters is the double die error. this happens when the coin is struck twice with slightly misaligned dies. The result? You'll notice doubled images or letters, especially in the word Texas, the date, or around the edges of the state outline. These double details can be subtle, but if you catch them, they can be incredibly valuable. Another highly prized mistake is the off-center strike. This is when the coin design isn't centered correctly on the metal blank. You might see parts of the design pushed toward the rim or even partially cut off. The more off-center the strike, while still keeping the date visible, the more valuable the coin tends to be. Then there's the clipped planchet error, where a small chunk of the coin's edge is missing due to a mistake in the cutting process. Combine any of these errors with a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, and now we're talking about some serious collector heat. Now here's a little pro tip: always check the edges of your coins. Some rare 2004 Texas quarters have partial collar errors, where the edge isn't fully formed, or the reading is uneven. These small details might seem minor, but they make a big difference in the eyes of a serious collector. So, why do collectors go crazy for these flawed coins? It's simple: rarity plus demand equals value. The US Mint rarely lets errors slip through, and when they do, they become treasures for coin lovers everywhere. Plus, the Texas quarter already has a strong following because of its powerful design and cultural importance. When you combine a state as iconic as Texas with a rare mint error, you get a coin that's both historically significant and financially valuable. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much could one of these error coins actually be worth? If you happen to find a 2004 Texas state quarter with a rare error like a double die or an off-center strike, and it's in uncirculated, flawless condition, it could fetch as much as $77,000 on the collector's market. That's right. $77,000 for a single quarter you might have sitting in a coin jar right now. So take a few minutes to look through your change, your old coin rolls, or your childhood collection. That one overlooked coin could turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Top 3, we're heading out west to one of the most rugged, iconic, and wild parts of America, Wyoming. But we're not just talking about cowboys and open plains. We're talking about a 2007 Wyoming state quarter that could be worth way more than 25 cents. Now, if you've seen the Wyoming quarter before, you'll recognize it right away. It's clean. It's bold. It features the image of a cowboy riding a bucking bronco, an unforgettable symbol of the state's Wild West spirit. And beneath that image is the state motto, the Equality State, a tribute to Wyoming being the first to grant women the right to vote. Simple design, deep meaning, but here's the part most people miss: buried in this everyday-looking coin is the potential for extraordinary value. While millions of Wyoming quarters were minted in 2007, only a tiny fraction have something that makes them truly special: rare minting errors that send their value skyrocketing in the collector's world. Let's take a closer look at what makes some of these coins so incredibly valuable. One of the biggest things collectors look for in the Wyoming quarter is the missing details error. That's right, on some coins, the cowboy's features, the saddle, the lasso, or even the horse's mane and tail appear faint or partially missing. This is due to a die wear issue, where the coin was struck with a worn-out die that didn't stamp the design clearly. These weak detail quarters stand out in the collecting world because they're so uncommon, and they represent a real lapse in minting quality. Another rare and exciting variety involves the double die error. On certain 2007 Wyoming quarters, you'll find areas, especially in the motto, the date, or the outline of the cowboy, that look like they've been doubled, almost like a ghost image shadowing the original. These double die errors happen during the minting process when the coin die shifts slightly between strikes, creating a beautiful and rare mistake. Then there are off-center strikes, where the image on the coin is not perfectly aligned. Some Wyoming quarters were struck off-center, leaving part of the design cut off and an unusually thick rim on one side. The more dramatic the misalignment, while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin becomes. Let's not forget about clipped planchets, where a small portion of the coin's edge is literally missing due to a cutting error at the mint. These clipped coins are eye-catching, rare, and always a hit with collectors looking for oddities and one-of-a-kind errors. Now here's the key to unlocking big value: condition matters a lot. A Wyoming quarter with one of these rare errors that's been kept in uncirculated or mint condition, no scratches, no discoloration, and no wear, can attract serious offers from collectors. These aren't just mistakes, they're accidental masterpieces, and the fewer that exist, the higher the demand. So why is this coin such a treasure to collectors? For one, it's from one of the last years in the state quarters program, making it slightly less common in high-grade condition. And two, Wyoming's design is minimalistic, which makes any mint error extremely noticeable. Combine that with its symbolic value and bold Western spirit, and you've got a quarter that stands tall among collectors who love coins with a story. Now, for the part you've all been waiting for. If you happen to come across a 2007 Wyoming state quarter with a rare mint error like a double die, off-center strike, or faded detail, and it's in perfect, uncirculated condition, it could be worth as much as $74,000. Yes, you heard that right. $74,000 for a single quarter that might be hiding in your pocket, your coin jar, or even an old drawer. So before you spend that change, take a closer look. That plain-looking coin from Wyoming could be a golden opportunity in disguise. Top 4. We're uncovering the secrets behind a modern coin that's caught the attention of collectors everywhere. It's none other than the 2015 Saratoga quarter, a piece of American currency that might just be worth far more than you'd ever expect at first glance. The 2015 Saratoga quarter might look like just another coin from your spare change. But once you take a closer look and understand its historical significance, its hidden errors, and its collector appeal, you'll never see it the same way again. This quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021 and highlighted national parks and historic sites in each state. The Saratoga quarter represents New York, and the design commemorates a turning point in American history, the surrender of British General Burgoyne to American General Gates during the Revolutionary War. The coin shows a powerful image of two hands, one British, one American, exchanging a sword in a gesture of surrender and victory. It's not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of the nation's fight for freedom, but what makes this coin truly special isn't just the story it tells, it's the errors that occurred during the minting process that have made some of these quarters extremely valuable to collectors. One of the most fascinating types of errors seen in the 2015 Saratoga quarter is the double die. If you look closely at the inscriptions, especially around the words Saratoga, New York, or the date, you may notice slight doubling, like a shadow or echo behind the letters. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment. It's a small detail, but one that can add massive value. Another rare variation is the off-center strike. These errors occur when the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during minting, resulting in a design that appears shifted to one side, with parts of the artwork or text cut off. Some examples are just slightly off-center, while others show dramatic misalignment that makes the coin truly one of a kind. These kinds of errors are extremely popular among collectors because they're both rare and visually striking. There's also what's called the die crack error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin has a fracture, leaving behind a raised line or unusual mark on the surface. On the Saratoga quarter, these cracks can appear near the sword, the hands, or across the lettering. These imperfections are considered unique birthmarks by collectors, and depending on how dramatic or unusual they are, they can increase the value of the coin significantly. But here's the real key: condition is everything. A coin with a rare error is already valuable, but if it's also in uncirculated or mint condition, it becomes even more desirable. That means no scratches, no discoloration, and no signs of wear. Just a clean, sharp, untouched coin with a rare mistake. Now that's what collectors dream of, and don't assume newer coins like this aren't valuable just because they're modern. In fact, because so many people overlook recent quarters, rare variants of these coins often go unnoticed. That's why people who know what to look for, people like you, are at an advantage. You could already have one of these in your collection and not even know it. Now here comes the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to own a 2015 Saratoga quarter with a rare error, like a double die, off-center strike, or a noticeable die crack, and it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, that single coin could be worth as much as $71,000. Yes, you heard that right. $71,000 for one quarter that might be sitting quietly in your coin jar right now. So grab a magnifying glass, take a good look at your quarters, and don't overlook the Saratoga. It's more than just 25 cents. It's a piece of revolutionary history and possibly a hidden fortune. Top 5. We're taking a closer look at one of the most graceful and symbolic designs in the entire State Quarter series, the 2008 Oklahoma State Quarter. But don't be fooled by its elegant look, this quarter isn't just about beauty. Some versions of this coin have become incredibly rare, and in certain cases, extremely valuable. If you're a collector, or even just someone with a curiosity for what could be hiding in your pocket change, this is one coin you'll want to listen to carefully. Because this little quarter could be worth much, much more than 25 cents, and if you're lucky, yours could be worth a small fortune. Let's start with the design. The Oklahoma quarter was the 46th release in the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, and it beautifully represents the state's natural elegance and freedom. The reverse side of the coin features the scissor-tailed flycatcher, Oklahoma's state bird, soaring gracefully above a field of Indian blanket wildflowers, which are native to the region. It's a breathtaking tribute to the state's wildlife and natural beauty, but while most of these quarters were produced and circulated like any other, there's a much smaller group that came out differently. These are the ones that collectors go crazy for, the rare error coins. One of the most sought-after errors on the 2008 Oklahoma quarter is the double die error. This can occur on either side of the coin, but is most commonly seen on the lettering, especially in the words Oklahoma, 2008, and E pluribus unum. If you see slight doubling in the letters or numbers, almost like a ghost image trailing behind the main design, that's no ordinary quarter. That's a minting error, and a valuable one at that. Another key variety to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift toward one side of the coin. The more dramatic the off-center strike, while still keeping key elements like the date visible, the more desirable and rare the coin becomes. And then there are the clipped planchet errors, where a small part of the coin's edge is missing due to a miscut during the blanking process. These coins are instantly recognizable and always catch the attention of collectors looking for unique and unintentional oddities. Some rare Oklahoma quarters also display what's known as a die break or cut error, a raised bump or blob of metal on the coin where a piece of the die has broken away. These unusual formations create irregular features on the coin, especially around the bird's wings or the flower petals, making them not only rare, but visually fascinating. But remember, condition matters. Even the rarest error loses value if it's covered in scratches, dirt, or signs of wear. That's why uncirculated coins, or those that have been preserved carefully in coin flips or holders, always fetch higher prices on the market. A mint condition coin with a known error? Now we're talking about serious money. Now, why is the Oklahoma quarter especially exciting for collectors? It's because it combines a beautiful, nature-inspired design with a surprising number of reported minting errors. That makes it the perfect blend of art, history, and rarity. Collectors love it because it's both meaningful and mysterious, just waiting to be discovered in someone's forgotten coin stash. So, here's the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to find a 2008 Oklahoma State quarter with one of these rare errors, whether it's a double die, off-center strike, or die break, and the coin is in uncirculated, pristine condition, its value could reach as high as $67,000. Yes, you heard that right, $67,000 for a single quarter that could be sitting quietly in a drawer, waiting to be noticed. So go ahead, grab your coin jar, flip through your collection, and take a second look at that Oklahoma quarter. You just might be holding on to something truly special, and you didn't even know it. If you enjoyed learning about this hidden gem, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another chance to discover the value hiding in plain sight. This is US Coins World, and we'll be back soon with more incredible stories from the world of rare coins. Until then, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting.